Hey, apparently I've been chatting with my mic off. No Matt today. Let me quick recap. Working on Chaos Guard today. Sorry, um, that apparently I'm an idiot. Um, we're on Chaos Guard today. No Matthew, he's ill. I don't think we'll have any beer today either. So I'm going to work on Chaos Guard. Chaos Guard is going to start on the 22nd. It's a once a month location based game. So I'm doing a little kind of the macro prep. I made this map based on the old map using Incarnate. Um, yeah, very, very sad that I forget to turn my mic on all the time. Um, this is not exactly the same map because I've added some things that I wanted to utilize and add to my um, own Chaos Scar game. In fact, I don't know, you can't really see everything. Let's see if we can. Nah, screw it. Every number letter combination is a different. Super Spike, Shaggy is a different kind of mini adventure. It's a job based series. The PCs will basically pick jobs to do and they'll go out and do them. So, working on the kind of truce of the game. So, every PC, and this is not a. Oh no. Well, I hope they're okay. Yeah, Matt just said he had a really bad headache, which, as someone who gets really bad headaches, I have a great deal of empathy for. So, I think he was just exhausted from it, which that sucks. When I get that, I feel terrible. Excuse me. But so it's going to be a game built where new players can come in and play, and players who want to test drive new builds or who have ideas for characters and want to see how they play out can come in and do that. They don't have to play the same character all the time. It's meant to be kind of they're part of an adventurers guild and people come and go. The keep where they live or where the adventurers guild is called Rustwell Keep. There's some political issues within the keep. It used to be controlled by some bad guys, I guess is the kind of term. I don't know if I agree with it. And now it's been overrun by a paladin and his forces. The populace who had lived in the outer portions of the keep, they are. And by the way, Shaq, if I didn't say it, I hope your dad's okay. The folks on the outside of the keep, like in the city surrounding, are not exactly super excited. So you have some internal conflict there, and then there's a lot of just NPCs who can give you jobs, who can create some kind of intrigue. But I want to keep most of the game outside the keep because the keep should be a place where the PCs feel like, hey, we're not going to get attacked here. So while there's intrigue and folks might stir up trouble or go after the PCs, they will not do it in the keep. So that's something to keep in mind. The PCs will get at least 3 potential jobs. They'll pick one, and that'll be the adventure. I made a job wall. Let me see if I have one of my job walls handy. Boo. I do apologize. I am real tired again today. My sleeping has been real bad, but here we are taking care of business. Board making. Let's do it. I have a board done. I do. So I found this kind of interesting thing someone come up with. Oh, Well, I'm glad you guys are negative. I hope that your dad's all right. So they have these jobs on this board. I think, what is there? 5, maybe 6. And they would choose the job. And that's basically it. And then that's the adventure. So pretty easy stuff. Yeah, I also dig the bounty board quite a bit. Like I said, this is a 4th edition thing that ran in I want to say Dungeon Magazine or Drag Magazine. I can't remember which one. I always really liked the idea that there's this massive just thing that is a smashed hole in the ground that's miles wide, and then this kind of keep popped up around it. It's been there. It's been controlled by a bunch of different factions at different times, and now there's currently a paladin and his forces who have taken it over, and they're very strong in their religious belief. They worship Arathis, who is the goddess of civilization. Also, that this is like the spear point of civilization into wildlands. But there's also these people who have lived here during a couple different occupations. And their main spiritual person is a priestess of I want to say it's Avandra. I don't know. I forget the 4th edition gods a little bit. Let's see if I can find it real quick, because now I'm really curious. Let's see. Bear with me for a second. Why am I having so many problems finding easy stuff today? Let's see if I got my notes around. I do. Look at that. Also adding NPCs and adding some other little things, of course, because I can't leave well enough alone. Yeah, Avandra, who I believe is like a halfling god of luck, I want to say. I'll have to kind of go back and reacquaint myself with that. So you also have there's some religious kind of tension here, because there's an occupying army, and you have the people who've already lived there. So it's who have lived there, who've kept it going. You also have the fact that these people, these bandits who ran the keep beforehand, not all of them are dead. So they could be out in the Chaos Guard doing who knows. Yeah, and then a lot of civilizations. I also wanted to utilize a old school, I want to say it's maybe 2nd edition adventure, that I've never run, shockingly enough, but that I've always loved the cover of, and that is, we're going to open it so you can see the cover. I just remember being a very, very evocative thing when I was a kid. Temple of the Frog. It had a wizard on the front with a laser rifle with a scope on it. And I was always like, holy crap, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And it has stuck with me through my entire life as something I've been interested in and wanted to run. And one thing about the Chaos Scar is, it's a giant impact crater. What's there? No one knows. And the civilization that was there that got destroyed in its landfall is, there's all this stuff that's still there. So yeah, between the Temple of the Frog and I know I've said it about 1 billion times, but my favorite all-time D&D adventure is Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Which is, for those that don't know, it's basically a dungeon crawl where you figure out that the dungeon you're going through is actually a crashed spaceship. Also, Stephen Colbert's favorite D&D adventure of all time, so we have that in common at least. So trying to figure out the truth, I feel like we're pretty good. it's that the PCs, they go do jobs. There can be more of a narrative if they so choose, but unlike something like, um, the narrative isn't kind of the long-term storytelling is a subtle feature, not the feature. Also, by taking jobs, they build up relationships with people in the town. Sometimes they build up animosity with people in the town. And the fact is, the Chaos Guard should be a really weird and interesting place full of weird and interesting things. So, what is that? Five truths. I might come back to add more. Rules of the game. Again, they're physically safe in the keep. There's tons of unknown things, ruins, and items and all kinds of things like that. Also, things that may have been in the crash. Also, there's a bunch of new burgeoning civilizations. So if you look at my map, let's make this big again. I wish I could cause this to disappear. But of course, I don't know how. Yeah, let's go full screen. Okay, perfect. And then we'll embiggen. Still in the way, of course. Down where the Temple of the Frog is, Rod Hollow, as I was saying earlier, is from, I can't remember if it's a Mike Shea product or not, but it was something that I thought very highly of, so I wanted it in there. It might be from a Cobalt Press thing. I can't recall. So that's in there. And then I wanted to have, I wanted to use Lizard Folk because I really do like Lizard Folk. So there was no original swampy area here. I put that in. Same thing with the Weeping Holt. I don't remember if that was actually in there or not. I can't recall. I've added a bunch of things. And that's kind of the goal, is to stretch this out and be able to, and this is just what's on the surface. This is not even begin to entertain what is actually inside the Chaos Guard itself. Also, the idea is the PCs can go in, and I'm going to use a couple interesting kind of pieces that I've been looking at, and that's kind of trying to utilize interesting search mechanics, like additional jobs. There's a couple books and supplements that have come out that I am interested in adding to my Campfire is one of them. I like some of the ideas behind Campfire. And then there was another one, and I'm struggling to remember what it was. But Campfire is kind of gives you some additional options. So that's, I want, when they go out into the Scar, I don't want the actual to and from to be like the backbone of the adventure. I kind of want it to be something that we can handle roles. If anyone's ever played like Pathfinder Kingmaker, the video game version of it, there is some very interesting stuff with that I think really does do some fantastic variations on travel. And that's what I wanted to kind of do. I want the travel to not be the focus, but the actual destination of getting to the job to be the focus. So anyway, that's kind of how I kind of see that. All right. Anyway, let's get back to kind of what we were working on. There should probably be a rule of the game. Travel is not the point of the game. Utilize supplemental rules to expedite travel into a few roles with the potential for random encounters as well as random boons. The focus should be the jobs themselves. Minimum of 3 jobs will be offered per session. I think that's pretty fair. And there's no need for continuity of character. Because one of the keys is I want them to be able to play different characters if they so choose, especially if I've got a couple people who want to play all the time. Let's give them some flexibility if they want to. Like I said, it should be about test driving characters. That should be the goal of things. As far as additional truths, let's see. I think we're good, actually. I think this is a pretty good. And then I'm still kind of working on my Appendix N, as I probably will always be adding and subtracting and adjusting to that. Don't need that. Do we want to work on our prep sheet? I don't think we're going to work on that just yet. And those should be very easy because the game should be very simple. So let's jump in here. Let's go to our folks. Let's go look at the old Chaos Scar and see what we can take away from who we are meeting here. So Fellic looks to be our first. Let me increase the size here if I can find it. Explore, no, because it looks, I can't tell if it's small or not. Let's go 125. 150. All right, so I've got the Fellic, Corporal of the Guards, human, male, grouchy but kind, all adventuring partner Kendon's, has issued large Drysdale's conversion stratagem. What do they have? They have a lot more. I think I feel pretty comfortable with keeping it a little kind of drawn down so we can change from there if we need to. I mean, I love the fact that they go into this much detail, but I don't really need that. Siradon. I guess we can add a little. Let's do our played by so I can get a little bit of a kind of an idea. Who would be playing Fellic? Vinnie Jones. Siradon. Younger. Looking to be very friendly and outgoing. And Oswald. About the smarminess, the smarkiness. I don't think he's smarmy, I guess. It's just DS is a female Goliath. Who is someone that's very plain spoken female who's feels slightly intimidating but friendly, approachably friendly? Um, Suggestions would be great if anybody has any. I'm trying to again get that picture in my head so I can kind of draw from. Um, oh, Katie Sackhoff. Sure, I'm butchering her name. Oh, did I actually spell it right? Oh my god! Oh nope, I did not. Of course not. All right, so Kendon Longstrider is commander of the guards, head of the Outer Bailey, male, half elf. So age isn't a big deal. So we need a good somebody who is got a bit of mileage on them, but is still youthful. Good law. Uther Ironhelm is the constable. Switch the way I did this. Male, he's human. Let's see. I want like a cop, like a who's a good Carl Urban. Yes, perfect. That is beautiful. Thank you very much, Super Spike. Captain's Tower is Gorn Hammerfall. He's second in command. Dwarf. Young dwarf. A younger dwarf who has left his clan to find his own way. Gorn Reswell and assisted Uther in stopping a fight in the streets and never left. He didn't care for the blades, but he also saw that took all kinds to make Restall work. He is not a fan of what's happening now, and he doesn't trust Lord Drysdale or his agenda. He's been spending more and more time with Kennen, who is trying to bring him around to his way of thinking. So, a younger person. Who would make a good dwarf? Hey, Mitch. Hope you have a good Sunday. Good seeing you. Maybe someone slightly, I wouldn't even say naive. Interesting. Well, I'm going to highlight that so we can come back to it because I'm actually struggling to think of anything. All right. Shelby Toft, I know. Michael Cera. Okay. You know what? It sounds silly, but I really kind of like it. That's kind of beautiful. It also gives me kind of a a little bit of a not even I can't do a voice of like that, but at least I can do kind of like the not even the mannerisms, just to get the basic across of it. That's great. That's a great suggestion. So Shelby Toft, I threw in there. Uh, Owner and operator of, I'm going to call it One Shoed. All right. So I guess human. I'm trying to think of a good actress to play that. It's got to be someone who's kind of very empathetic, maybe even slightly shy. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go with what is so easy. It's not even. It's in the front of my head, and Deborah Ann Wall. Let's make sure I'm spelling her name right. Nope. So, for those unfamiliar, Deborah Ann Wall is probably best known for her being on True Blood as well as being Karen Page on Daredevil. But she is also a massive D&D fan and has run her own streaming games and is a phenomenal dungeon master. Just very, very cool individual. So I got to figure out the warehouse yet. So Bergen is our Smith. He is male and he is an orc. Orc raised by dwarves. I kind of picture as someone who's like very does things in a very ritualistic fashion. It's kind of like clinging very hard to what they see as what it means to be dwarvish, especially when it comes to crafting and continuing to. That is a good one, but I don't. I know I can't do anything near a Australian accent. I've tried and I can't. Um, but I like the idea. Maybe skew a little younger. Um, he's someone that the PCs will have an ability to go to and interact with, and if they can bring Residium, he can craft with it. I'm trying to think someone who does a lot of kind of. I can't say much about Tamara Morrison because it is a good idea, and I kind of have Ron Perlman popped in my head, and they're both just too old. So, you know what? Who might be a better fit here than up here is Carl Urban. Thoughts, chat. This might be a good switch when we'd have to figure out somebody for Uther. Hugh Jackman. Interesting. I kind of want to change this. Are you guys on board if I change this? All right, we're going to take Carl Urbane. We're going to make him Bergen. And that means we need to find our Uther. Yeah, Urbane as Judge Dredd was absolutely stellar. I don't watch The Boys because I don't think much of the comic. So, but everything I've ever seen him in, I love him as Dr. McCoy. He was great in Lord of the Rings. I don't think Carl Urbane does a lot of things where he's not good. So who's somebody else that I thought about, because I've even got it in there, Cobb Vanth style sheriff. I mean, what about Timothy Oliphant? I don't know if anybody here liked Justified, but I was a huge fan of Justified. Oh, you know what? Let's stop thinking a little bit. What about Delroy Lindo? I really like Delroy Lindo, and he is fantastic in, I think it's Get Shorty, which is another Elmore, based on another Elmore Leonard novel. He's just got that. He also reminds me of Idris Elba. I like that kind of very, very laid back, confident. Yeah, we're going with Delroy Lindo. I like the idea of Jude Law and Delroy Lindo is kind of like this kind of cop partnership. All right. Are we good there? Yeah, we do Carly. So Gelda is an elderly human woman. I don't have much down beyond that. I know there's more to her than that. I believe. Let's take a look what the old adventure had. See, in the old adventure, Bergen was just a human. Yeah, it's true. That's really good. Yeah. So elderly woman who deals in foods, herbs, and other perishable goods. She does most of her business with a few farmers, homesteaders who live near the keep. So that really doesn't tell us much. Food and other basic sundries. Has a very solid relationship with the folks of, and I named the nearby town, Berwich. Oh, Betty White, man, you guys both Super Spike came in hot with that. I like it. And in fact, you know what I really liked with Betty White is, if anyone's seen Lake Placid, I think that's Betty White in that. Because I really dig, if that is Betty, if let's find out. I kind of need to know. Yeah. Yep, she was. Thank you, Super Spike. You're on point. Um, I loved that. I love that movie. I think it's fun. Bosco Heldman is a short, heavyset human man. He's a trader. He's a hard-nosed trader. He's got missing teeth. He's a gambler. He was gleefully bamboozled over by a pair of bloody manacles of Lemater. Who can we get in that part? Let's see what Chaos Scar had about Bosco. Fosk is a overweight man who is eager to expand his business. He deals almost exclusively with adventures. He can offer almost any mundane good up to 100 gold pieces at a 10% markup. As the means to meet most adventurers' basic needs with a markup. Ooh, I kind of like Bill Murray. All right, what do they say about Jasia? Oh, that's not the right thing that I'm looking at. Crossroads. So I have the Crossroads on here. I don't. Is there a? Yeah. Let's see if I don't need that open. Don't need that open. Don't need that open. All right, let's. Booby butts. All right, let's go here. Oh, I already have it open, don't I? Yep, I do. All right. So is the Crossroads in here? Doesn't appear to be, does it? Millen Silver Eye. So we need to put in unmarked locations in Restwell. I believe it was an inn. Oh, Crossroads is another up. It's up the road. So we're going to go down here. Crossroads is a larger community, 30 miles, we'll say. Back towards civilization. Millen Silver Eyes a Tiefling. All right. Who should play Millen Silver Eyes? All right. We've got a couple NPCs here that are from nearby communities that we need to potentially. Alan Tudyk as a tiefling makes really good sense to me. Anton Scribbs is a human farmer. He's also a necromancer, but is generally more interested in keeping the dead in the ground. He is the mayor of Burwich. Oh, you know who would be perfect for that? Chris Christopherson from Blade. I didn't spell that right. I know I didn't. There we go. Oh, double K's? Really? All right. Bill Murray. We've got Josiah, who is the landlord for the private apartments. Do they not even have her in here? Or is this just me adding somebody? I thought for sure she was in here, but okay. Well, then we're putting Josiah in ourselves. So we've got a landlord. She's an older woman. She's kind but has rules. Maggie Smith. Why is that not ringing a bell? Hmm. I like that. That's a good one. I'll have to go and all right. Quint Spriggle or Spiregleam. Older male gnome. Gem dealer. Played by, I think this one's easy. It's the guy who played Quint in Jaws. Who played him? So you're not going to tell us who played him? Really? Robert Shaw. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to know. So I have added a. All right, Super Spike. Yeah, the whole thing with this dude, I'm actually going to wrap it up in here about 11 minutes. Is this guy's basically Clint? He's always talking about a jewel encrusted boulet that, which are basically land sharks, that it roams through the early portion of after the King's Wall, and he once and did took his leg. That you with the head, the tail, the whole damn thing. Yeah, look up boulets. They're amazing looking. In fact, here, let me grab up. I'll just D&D boulet. There's your boulet. They're massive, basically land sharks. They burrow through and then they erupt out of the ground. Yeah, I always think they're super cool. I always loved this second edition version down here that is very much just land shark. But yeah, they're cool. One of my favorite monsters. No, the land shark. Land shark. That's a Dan Aykroyd doing that voice. I remember, if I remember correctly. So the next is Benwick. Now, Benwick is a very, very, very interesting NPC because Benwick can end up being a huge antagonist. So he claims to be a priest of Bahamut. The reality is he's not. Oh, I don't remember that. That sounds interesting. I'll have to look that up. He's actually a priest of Zahir, who is like an evil snake god. He's working to kind of poison the factions against one another while he has a cult on the outside of King's Wall, who are fomenting unrest in the area. He knows that another person, Ferdinand Ronick, who is actually next, who is basically operates a loan bank and used to be a rogue. He knows that he made most of his money looting Zahir ruins nearby, so he's looking to kind of plan around making Ferdinand take the fall when shit hits the fan. He's very charming. He's very friendly. He's always ready to lend an ear or a hand to help because it helps keep him ingratiated to others, which is what he wants. And he's got over his where he lives, which is also kind of a makeshift shrine. He has written "His Tongue Never Lies" in an old bastardized version of Draconic. I like that suggestion. I think Nick Cage may be a little too manic for that. I do like Walken as a suggestion, but I'm trying to think of someone younger. Who's someone who kind of exudes that earnestness? but also you just beneath those layers of the surface, you feel like is potentially only looking out for themselves. Is this one where you know what? We're making another. I think Jude Law is a much better choice there than up here. All right, so we need to think of another Kendon Longstrider, who's a male half elf. Who's the commander of the guards. What do you think about Nathan Fillion here? Little more rough around the edges than Jude Law. For whatever reason, Jude Law always strikes me very much as elven or elvish. I like the. I didn't watch. Was it Castle that Fillion starred as a cop? I do enjoy him in pretty much everything that he's in. Maybe as that kind of that. I also like the idea of again Delroy Lindo and Nathan Fillion kind of bouncing stuff off one another. Although I don't think we're going to see a lot of that, just because. Ferdinand Roddick's an ex-thief, male half elf. He now owns a bank. So he might still be a thief in some people's eyes. Some might say he's basically a loan sharking. He is. It's fair rate. Ferdinand the Fair is willing to loan coin for a return on investment and sometimes a discount for under-the-table work. Ah, nice. So who would make a good kind of half-elf, thiefy, roguish type? Joe Montaigne. All right. Yeah, you got. How do we spell that? Joe Montaigne. Oh man, that's very different than Antigna. Excellent actor. That's a really good choice. I haven't used D'Onofrio anywhere, but I think that's coming. I'm thinking about D'Onofrio actually for Lord Drysdale, who's kind of the big paladin. I think that'd be a really. I'm using Garrick Blackcloak is kind of Drysdale's main guy, and using Ron Perlman there because he's supposed to be an older hard ass. All right, let's put that in right now. I really like that. He is a male human paladin of Arathis. Blade, man, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. I kind of do look at it like a more, for lack of a better term, good version of the Kingpin. Is this kind of, I think Kingpin has very strict kind of personal convictions, and I think that's what Drysdale's is like. So Garrick Blackcloak is Ron Perlman. All right, let's get one more in. Naren Silverhand. Oh, he was down here. Oh, we messed that up, huh? No, we didn't. Different dude. Very similar names. Naren Silverhand is a human. He's male. He's rich. He's greedy, and his in sucks. Who's someone that just reeks of pomp and circumstance that feels completely unearned? Ooh, that's a good one. No, I like that because Dwight Schrute. Those are two very different kind of arrogant. I like the idea of Jeffrey Dean Morgan because there's this underlying, like, if you're going to complain to him, he's actually threatening enough. And then that ends to Naren Silverhand. You know, maybe Naren Silverhand used to be an adventurer before he took an arrow to the knee. Or maybe he's just bad news. I like that. That's an interesting choice. All right, so Jarek, he's a local hunter. I think I added this one in. He was almost killed by some rage drakes. His wounds are laced with residium. He just wants the rage drakes dead, as they are inhibiting his ability to make his living. So I believe that we did one of these is Jarek's, I believe. Yep. As you can see, not educated. Help need. Please help. The mensfolk of Desnair is boot disparate. So we need someone who is rough around the edges and can play someone who may not be the most literate, but is good with a bow and a knife. Dave Bautista. Here's my thing with Dave Bautista. Down here, there's a dude named Onius Earthmane, who is a Goliath who's injured, who he's one of the people that is you really want Billy Bob in there. Billy Bob's not a bad point. I want Dave Bautista here. He's this big, massive Goliath who he wants the PC to. He went in with an expedition. He's the only person who made it out. He's got a broken leg, and when they meet him, he's kind of being fawned on by all these local women. He wants them to go in because he wants them to explore one of his previous ancestors' keep that's all smashed up because there's items in it he wants back that are family items. I think Dave Bautista is about perfect in that role. So I'm glad you brought him up. He would be can't think of that class all of a sudden. D&D 5e fighter spell Eldritch Knight. There it is. Played by Dave. I think I spelled that wrong. All right. I think we are going to go with Billy Bob for Jarek. Or we could go with Walter Groggins. Again, reaching back into our justified bag of tricks. I do love me some Walter Goggins. I thought, yeah, I feel like Walter Goggins is goddamn amazing. Walter Goggins. There, all of a sudden I can't even remember what I said. So, oh, it's Walton. Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for the heads up. So let's sneak Billy Bob in and call it a day. How about for Tom Huck, the cook at the copper bucket? I love the idea of it. It's just figuring out where he goes. All right, I think we've got a pretty good start here. I got a couple weeks to figure some of this out. All right, well, we're like right up on it. Let's call it there. I really appreciate, as always, Super Spike, Shaggy, Mitch, anyone who popped in and joined us. That's interesting. That's interesting. I like that Super Spike. Cool. Yeah, and this is a game where if any of you are interested in playing, reach out to me. We'll figure it. We can hopefully sort something out. It's going to be one Monday a month, an off Monday from Down Outlands. First episode is going to be on the 22nd. It'll never go longer than 3 hours. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you coming on and kind of getting the imagination wheel spinning and helping to make this reality. I will see some of you hopefully on Tuesday for Tiny Mang, and then I will be on again next Friday for Bad Games. I have no idea what I'm playing. Although I did pick up some new games on a Steam sale, so maybe I'll play something new. Or maybe we'll just go back to playing some Carrion again because, man, I could do with some being a blob eating people. Thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. If you're in my neck of the woods, stay dry. And we will see you Tuesday on Tiny Mang. Bye.